This week, we're talking about strike and what good strike really is. So for me, the first thing that I always look to optimize with a player is the quality of strike. And the reason for that is that your strike will have an influence on distance, it will have an influence on direction, on curvature, on all of the variables of your ball flight. So if we cannot get consistent strike, we cannot get a repeatable ball flight and accurate distance control or direction. So first thing we do is look at strike. So what is good strike? Question number one, very key concept and very easy to actually get a little bit confused on that. So good strike, as I'm sure you'll all know, is striking out the middle of the face from toe to heel. However, there is another element to good strike, which a lot of us get wrong very often. So whenever we've got a golf ball on the floor, we have three different options on how we can strike it. We can strike the ground first, the ball after, we can strike just the ball only, or we can strike the ball first, the ground after. Now, really key on why these are actually important. So if we imagine, if the golf club is coming in and it hits the ground first, you're able to get underneath the ball and you're going to be able to strike it out in the middle of the face. However, you're going to get all the dirt, all the muck, all the grass stuck between the club face and the ball. That's going to affect this distance, makes it very variable. So that's not optimal. A lot of people think that is optimal because you think to yourself, well, if I get underneath it, I can lift it up. And if I lift it up, it's going to go up in the air, but you don't need to lift it up. The golf club has loft on it naturally. It will go high enough, assuming you get a good strike and you get enough speed. Now, second option that we've got is hitting it ball only. Now, if you hit it ball only, we're going to imagine what part of the club is going to come in and strike it here. We're going to strike it right off the bottom of the golf club. Now, obviously, there's shades of grey, but if we strike it off the bottom of the golf club, this part of the club has very little loft. Ball typically will run along the ground. Now, a third option, striking the ground after the ball, is optimal because as the golf club comes in, for it to strike the ground after, it has to move downward. Now, if it's moving downward, what part of the face does that strike out of? Right out the middle. Hey friend, I hope you're enjoying the video. Today I want to give you a free gift to thank you for watching. You can access my proven system for taking 10 shots off your scores without hitting any balls in 5 simple steps, completely free. Just hit the link in the description of this video to access. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It means a massive amount, and enjoy the rest of the video. Better ball strikers tend to hit it much higher in the face, and you can see this when you pop on some foot spray or hairspray on the club face when you're hitting shots. So we know that we need to hit down on the golf ball to get a good strike and good distance. But if we're hitting down on it, then why did it go up? How can it go up? Well, quite simply, we've got to think that if we get a good strike, then we fully utilize the loft that's on the club face. And if on an 8-iron that I've got here, if I've got, let's say, around 38 degrees of loft, if I hit it off the bottom of the club face, I may only utilize 14 degrees of loft, essentially, because of the strike. It goes very low. If I hit the ground first, well, I can utilize all the loft, but I've got the grass stuck between the club face and the ball doesn't go anywhere. So if I'm able to hit it out the center of the face, even though I'm hitting down on it, I'm going to fully utilize that 38 degrees of loft. And if I'm hitting down on it, say 5 degrees, I've still got 33 degrees of loft. And as long as I have enough speed, that ball's going to go way up in the air. So strike is king. Great drill for you to do. If we get some foot spray or hairspray, we can actually draw a little line just on the ground. I like to use a range mat a lot of the time for this. And all that you can do with that, if you just address the front edge of that line that you've either drawn on the ground with foot spray or hairspray, or spray paint if you're at home, or you're on the range mat, you can address the front edge of that line and just practice just striking the ground very gently just after that line. This really helps you to understand where you want to bottom out the golf club. And when you're ready, you can just put a ball right on top of that line and just introduce that same concept. Can you strike the ground just after that golf ball? This is going to really help hone your strike. I would suggest doing this with small shots first and building up to fuller shots. Have an incredible day, enjoy your golf, and let me know thoughts and feedback on this. How is your strike, and how do you feel it could be improved?